I'm Elle, and my house is currently being swarmed by bees, so in an attempt to take control of my life, I'm making a YouTube video about a TikTok account that I like. It's a very silly account. It is about someone's desired reality, and it's very satirical. I'm not gonna go too much into. I'm bouncing too much. I'm not gonna go too much into it, but it's very funny, and I'm going to be talking about it today. Now, this TikTok account is a person that claims to be a reality shifter. I don't think that they really believe in it. I think they're just being satirical because what you're about to see is so silly and unhinged and bizarre, but very, very entertaining. And I really hope that you enjoy. So we're going to start off with the basics. We're going to meet our protagonist. Her name is Zuma Grace Miller, and she's being played by Sabrina Carpenter. So whenever you think of Zuma, you can think of Sabrina. Now, when you think of somebody with a desired reality, like when you think of a teenage girl and you think of like their ideal man, you think of, I don't know, Tom Holland. That's the only male young celebrity I can think of. But you would not imagine, you would not even guess. Now, would you think of Hamilton? Would you think of the composer for Moana? Would you think Lin-Manuel Miranda? I don't think so. But it is, in fact, Lin-Manuel Miranda. And honestly, good for her. So Lin-Manuel Miranda is 37, and I'm pretty sure in real life he is married and has a child. If not more than one, I don't really know his life story. But, yeah. So he's 37, and then we meet her two parents. Adriana Lima Miller and Pedro Pascal. Pedro Miller, if you will. Pedro Miller is 48. Adriana Lima Miller is 45. So that is about a 10-year age gap between her parents and her boyfriend. I find that quite amusing. Now we get to meet... Who do we meet? Her dog. We meet her dog. No, we don't meet her dog yet. We meet her brother. Her brother is Noah Miller. Noah Miller exists in real life. I think he's an Instagram model. But he is also a cryptid. Good for him. Just look at him. Look at that man. He has no height and he has no weight. Then we meet the dog. The dog is Coco. I think that dog was a meme dog for a little while, but I can't put my finger on which meme. Is it the mulch meme, perhaps? I don't know. Then we meet her best friends. Her friends are Taylor Swift. Sure. Her friends are Selena Gomez. That tracks. Her friends are Walker Scobell. If you don't know, Walker Scobell plays Percy Jackson. And he also played Ryan Reynolds in The Adam Project. He doesn't exactly match, but it does get weirder. We have Josh Hutcherson. Makes sense. But then we have Lance Barber. And if you don't know who Lance Barber is, he plays George Cooper on Young Sheldon. Young Sheldon himself. We get Sheldon Cooper. Not Ian Armitage. No, we get Young Sheldon. And his age is just yes. We then get a little bit of lore. We get some lore. He's dating Andrew Tate, and it is never brought up again, to my disappointment. Not because I like Andrew Tate, but I think he would be seething at the thought of being shipped with a man, and that entertains me greatly. And then we find out about a plot twist romance, which is Young Sheldon himself and Walker Scobell. Gay rights. Anyway, we go to the next video and we learn about a love triangle between Zuma, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and Harry Styles. In one of these pictures, Harry Styles is double cheeked up, so that's great. Next two videos, they're pretty normal. Just like a day in the life stuff. Like we get a first album and we learn about her first album. It's a Fame AU. And then we get the video about the dog. We get more dog lore. But then we go into like a proper day in the life. And she wakes up. Zuma's daily life. She wakes up. She goes to the gym. She showers. She ain't stinky. Then she gets ready to go on a date with Lin. And she sees Lin. They go on a nice lunch date. She has chicken and french fries, and he's got a pizza, it looks like. And they have something in a jar. They have something in a mason jar. She takes a nap. Taylor's release party. But then they go at 1 a.m. and they go egg Joe's house. I don't know who Joe is. But they also throw George Cooper at the window and he breaks it. I suppose that Lance Barber and George Cooper are one entity now. They are not two separate people anymore. They are just George Cooper. They're having relationship issues. That's not good. The next is a shameless audio.
You can't have a boy in your bed. Why not? You do. I'm a grown-up. I'm pregnant. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Lin is literally just standing there. He's like, and the star keeps shining, and the squid likes guns. You know that song? It's a Glorb song, by the way. The dead roach in the scenario is Lin, and the city that they run, that would be a collage of 4 pictures. Shein, makeup, Minnesota, and a statue from the Hunger Games. Let's find out why it's the statue from the Hunger Games, shall we? That's right, friends. The Hunger Games have begun. The Hunger Games have begun. And I will spare you the details of every single tribute, but there are a couple of important ones. District 3 has Walker Scobell and young Sheldon. District 4 has George Cooper. George Cooper is probably too old to be in the Hunger Games, but he sure is in there. District 9, Millie Bobby Brown and James Charles. It is stated that Millie kills James immediately. Also, the D'Amelio sisters are District 10. And then District 11 has Juan. Who is Juan? Will he live? I don't know, but he's got a fun little font. And then we find out the winners. We don't get any details about the Hunger Games, unfortunately. But the winners are Walker Scobell and young Sheldon. They've pulled to Katniss and Apita, and they've both won. But George has survived. We don't need to talk about it. I guess James unfortunately lives. Oh no, he lives. In the next video, we pretend like the Hunger Games never happened because it's just a duet between Noah and Zuma. They have a little sibling bonding moment, and they're just doing some things together. They're doing some concerting together. After that, it seems that James Charles is causing relationship issues between Sheldon and Walker. So, another reason not to stand James, I guess. The next one, I really like this video, specifically because of the caption. It's a Luma video, and in the caption it just says, "I go him," heart emoji. So I really like this video. It's very silly. Now we're going on, and we're having some daddy issues. Papa Pedro is favoring Noah more than he's favoring Zuma, and that's bad. We don't like that. But the actual Noah Miller has commented here, and he says, "If only you guys knew the truth." So I'm kind of like, what's going on? Next video. It is my favorite 2 videos. It's a part 2. It is the Luma wedding. And so it's the Luma wedding. And it's beautiful. All of her friends are there. Little Walker he's tossing flour. He's like actual FLOUR. He's tossing the flour. I hope that the people with a gluten allergy were warned as he sprinkles it along. Zuma comes out. She's looking beautimous. And all of a sudden, we hear, "Not so fast, buckaroos." How do you do British? "Not so fast, buckaroos. It's Harry Styles." He says, "Zoom, zoom. Tell him about us." I'm so sorry. But that's the end of part 1. Part 2 of the Luma wedding. He goes, "Tell them, Zoom. Tell him you're pregnant." If I didn't point this out, Lynn was there when Adriana, Zuma's mother, found out that Zuma was pregnant, but I guess we've retconned that because Lynn doesn't know, because in fact he says, "Zuma, is this true? It can't. We haven't canoodled yet." Zuma says, "Well, it's not yours, it's Harry's." And Lynn goes, "What?" And he walks over to Harry and he pulls out. He's glocked up, I guess. He pulls out a pew pew and he loads it. And from all of the stress, Zuma's water breaks. And that is the end of the Luma wedding. Sudden cut to the hospital where Zuma has babies. She has not one but two. She's got twins. One baby is a normal baby. He's a little teeny tiny guy, little tiny thing. He's got the funniest little. He's so squished and little, and he's wonderful. He's a little baby boy. I think. I don't know if he's a little baby boy. Lemonade's probably a girl's name. I don't know, but he's a little squishy. She's a little squishy. I want to squish her up because the picture is squished. But then we meet Rithika. Rithika has a dog's face. There is no explanation. We go to the next video, and it is a Zoom Mary edit. I suppose that Luma is no longer in the cards. I've never noticed this before. There's a picture with Zuma feeding a giraffe with Lin-Manuel Miranda's face on it. Wait, hold on. I recognize that cup, I think. I think I've seen that cup before. But maybe not. Anyway, in the comments, someone asks about Lin. And Zuma's response is just, "He's a hoe." So, there's that. The next video, it's our last one, actually. Unfortunately, we're nearing the end. So, it's set to Taylor Swift's "The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived." And I don't know the tune of the song because I've actually never heard the song before. And it says, "I don't miss what we had, but could someone give a message to the smallest man who ever lived? Were you sent by someone who wanted me dead? Coriolanus Snow. Did you sleep with a pew-pew underneath our bed? Were you writing a book? Were you a sleeper cell spy? In 50 years, will this all be declassified? I don't know, Zuma." And unfortunately, that is the end of our saga. But something that I didn't mention was Coriolanus was in the Hunger Games previously. Zuma's Hunger Games, not the book. Of course, he was in the Hunger Games book. But in that, he was young Coriolanus. And here, he's old Coriolanus. So my only guess was he was kidnapped from the Hunger Games after he supposedly died and mutated into an old man. And now he wants Zuma dead for some unknown reason. And unfortunately, we don't know the lore. But anyway, thank you for watching. And what can we learn from the Zuma saga? I think my theory about it is Zuma was a representation for life, Lin was death, Harry Styles was God, and the babies were Lemonade was a representation of humans, and Rithika was animals. And it's just all a one big metaphor. And it's truly amazing writing. And I'm so glad that I was able to find this and share it with you. And I hope that maybe one day we can get a part 2 and we can have some more Zuma lore. Thank you all for watching. Get the bees out of my house. Goodbye.